behind the open door here, actually in the studio now, finally. Got my guest here, Shinobi.
What up, everybody?
And you guys know him, also known as Joey. You're a great musical talent, DJ, especially producer here in Arizona, in the Valley area. So, brother, appreciate it. Finally, someone's in my
I
world.
know this room is like, oh, it's just like I can feel all the musical energy just getting in here.
Oh man. So hey, gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to?
Mainly music. Nonstop. I have nonstop since you last saw me. And then just been working, getting my life, in track. Finally happening, so I'm like in a very calm place in life right now, except for everything happening in the world. But I mean, I can't control that, so just gotta live day by day.
Definitely. So musically, what's been? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier before we started the set here. You've been working on some hip hop, something different for you.
Yeah, so I have a good friend. His name is Stig, and he is a like super talented rapper. The first time I ever heard him like rap, he freestyles. So that's his main thing is freestyling. And I heard him we were at work and he just dropped like 2 bars, and I was literally my jaw just dropped. And then I told him a little bit, and I was like, I do music, but I do techno, and I don't do hip hop. But I would try if you want to collab. So we ended up doing so, and just out of the blue, it like kind of came to me. Obviously, I know how to produce music, so it was just the challenging part was actually just arrangement of a hip hop track, not so much like the sounds, everything. I knew all that stuff prior. It was just more getting the structure down, so that way he was able to like just rap and just drop it. And we actually finished the track, so we have it. He's gonna be releasing it. And then we're just waiting. We're gonna do a few more tracks, kind of do like a little EP.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll put it out. But for now, it's a little tucked away secret that I got.
Like hidden right there. It's like, this is what I've been up to for the last year. So, no, cool stuff. Man. So as far as you got hip hop going, everything else. Now, what about some of the traditional Shinobi music?
That's been nonstop going. That's still going with the set that I played, that you guys will get to listen to later. Pretty much that whole set was nothing but new music. Maybe there's probably like 2 or 3 songs that people know that are out on my platforms and stuff. But other than that, every other track on my mix is brand new. No one's ever heard it except my wife.
So, so he's no longer driving his wife nuts with it over time.
Yeah, she's over it now.
You guys, that's why she's not here. She says, "I've heard it already." No, it's you guys. It's you guys. Well, we actually recorded the set before this, but actually you'll see it after the interview. So, anyways, you guys definitely gonna have to check it out. It's a dope asset.
Yeah, I surprised myself. So if that tells you anything.
So, with that, music wise, we talk about a little bit about life and stuff. And it's been crazy,
yeah.
And it's been crazy with, essentially, I got with all this craziness in the world. We have to talk about what's going on in the world because it would be totally ignorant not to say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I got back before all this lockdown shit happened and stuff. I got back from Vegas. This is back in early March or so. Then it's been like 4 months of like, what the hell is going on here and stuff. Right, and it's one, at least for me, it's like for us has been, for my wife and I, it's been a challenge too. It's like kids are at home, we got to homeschool and everything else and stuff. It wasn't too bad with my oldest one because she was doing kind of homeschooling at the beginning of the school year. Went back to school for 2 months, back to homeschool. But the world's been crazy and stuff, and I want to pick your brain.
Okay.
Right. I know you have stuff on your mind and stuff, right? And it's like, but again, the one thing I like to do is just want people to talk out, express what they have to say and stuff. And again, no judgments or anything. No judgment for those who are watching and stuff. Just open your ears and listen to people and stuff. That's that thing what we have to do. I mean, especially us coming. We been in the scene, been to the places, played at places, and everything else. With I'll just say it, with people like jumping on and going out there again. I mean, personally, I think it's been stupid. I mean, it's like
I agree.
it's like, cause it's like I was a nerdy bio major at one point in my life, and you study germs and viruses, all that stuff, right? And it's like the common sense, right? It was like you take away political sizing. I mean, this is just how stupid it is, right? Is that we've gone to a point in society that we political size wearing a mask, right? Where it's like common sense, virus, germs, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's no politics about germs, but we've gone to the point that we politicalize germs and viruses and everything else, and it's insane. I mean, I know you have a lot of your thoughts about that.
I'm glad I'm wearing the mask because underneath, I just got a big grin because I'm just like, there's so much going on as you speak going on in my brain. But yeah, I 100% agree. People who are going out right now is probably the worst time to be going out. Like, this is when it just hit that peak, and now it's going to come back quicker than anybody thought. But
yeah. And it's like, it's like, I got, friends back in Cali and stuff, and we're like, it's been like absolute lockdown. My brother's, my brother who's been, Mr. Social Bug and stuff, hasn't left his house in like 4 or 5 months and stuff. But yeah, it's like, you sit there and it's common sense, and then it's like, what gets me is people arguing like they have their I guess, I don't know, we call it rights, but I guess say self-centeredness, I call it, right? You're like, you see on the news and everything else, like, oh, I got this condition, I can't wear a mask, all that stuff, right? And it's like okay, that's kind of selfish, self-centered. I mean, this is my opinion. Again, everything is sort of out of our own opinions, It's selfish. It's really selfish, right? And to say, that, if you're an employer, you want to protect employees, but then also you have, you're still an owner, business owner, all that stuff. It's like you got to think about how the other people are, right? And it's like just normal human respect, right? And that's what gets me or irritates me personally. Is like, okay, common sense. Consider, where's your manners, right? Consideration, right, for others, right?
There's no empathy.
There's zero, and it's like it's annoying, it's agitating, what worries, us, me being Asian, right? Like, especially in Arizona. There's not many of us besides on, Rincon Plaza and, off of Dobson. That's about it, But it's like I've gone, especially when I was in March, I was sick too, right? And hell, I probably had it. I have no idea, But it was, you were like, you're paranoid. I was paranoid to cough, right? Thinking that people were going to look at me differently just because.
That happens to me all the time.
Just because, or like the color of my skin or anything like that, right? And it's like, I have a cough, right? But it's just knowing to be judged, right? Especially with, not, I guess the media, I'll have a whole different opinion about the media, but it's the cases in which you, as an Asian American, is that, to be, stereotype, to say, hey, the Kung flu thing, right? Which, out of context, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, the context has been used out there in the media.
I hate that when I heard that.
The way it's used, and the thing is, like, it's just like, black brothers and sisters, or they're using the N-word, right? It's the context. Personally, I don't think they should be calling each other that, but that's up to them, right? But it's the context versus them calling each other versus someone else saying it, right?
Someone from the
outside. From the race. But, it's the same thing. It's the context. People say, oh, it's only words, but it's the context of how it's used, right? And what worries me as a parent, and especially with a kid who's in junior high, because kids in junior high are stupid. I worry about that, for her to be, stereotyped or be picked on just because of the color of her skin, right? And what, right, and now in the current times right now with coronavirus and COVID stuff, right, as an Asian, you sit there like, okay, well, are you going to be judged because what I look like, right? I'm fourth generation here. I am probably the farthest Asian I'm I'm a Twinkie, I'm a banana. It's like, but then when you go into, black folks, African Americans, and all that stuff, right? And you do understand why people don't understand how, like, walking down the street. And this is what people don't get. If I walk down the street with a bag of Skittles with a hoodie, no one's gonna think twice, right? Versus if you're a black kid, right, doing the same thing, right, you're automatically gonna get judged walking down the street, and people don't get that. I had friends from the hood and everything else. I went, I had a good friend in college. He grew up in Inglewood and everything else, right? He was fortunate enough that his mom was a paralegal, and his mom's boss paid for his private school, so he got out of the hood.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
But he still had lived in the hood.
Oh yeah.
Right. And to carry that, just being a black man, especially when we were in college and stuff, and you're 18, 19, 20 years old and stuff, still to be, you worry about looking behind your back just because of your color of your skin, right? And that's what frustrates me, is that people don't get that.
Yeah.
Right. I even had a discussion with a friend, was saying like, okay, us being Asians, we have yellow privilege. He said, well, we work our asses off. I said, yeah, we work our asses off. But like, I gave him an example, was like, if you put us as a equally qualified Asian, black, Hispanic, and you have a board of directors, which is stereotypically Caucasian, right?
Yeah. Who
are they going to choose? The likelihood, if you got equally across same qualifications. See, that's your yellow privilege. That's my point too.
Yeah.
We as Asians also have that yellow privilege too. So anyways, back to my point was is like people who don't understand that and kind of blush it off the side. Yeah, no, that's irritating to me and stuff. But anyways, that's my rant. That's my social rant.
But that's good. But we need those people. Mm-hmm. We need them in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
The people that actually know what's going on and have been in the hood and are from the streets and all that, is to educate those people that haven't been in the streets.
Yeah.
That haven't fought for fucking being in a fucking special spot because of your color of your skin and shit. So it's very important to definitely just keep educating everyone, mm-hmm. especially right now.
Yeah.
Because it's surprising how many people, especially in the scene or in our group that we mm-hmm. know, that don't know certain things that you were taught in school or you were taught somewhere else, and people just, it doesn't click to them because, how you mentioned earlier, mm-hmm. they're just in their own lives, so they're so self-centered that anything outside themselves is like, it's fake news, pretty much.
Well, yeah. If it doesn't impact me, it doesn't affect me, then I don't know. It's kind of like blinders, right? And it's like
it's a very bad mentality to have.
We can't be, this is in general, have walk through life with blinders.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously I'm a lot older than you are, but in a different generation. But is like younger generation, not stereotypically, right? And let's say stereotypically. Is that social consciousness seems to be lost because everything is instant 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't do your Instagram in 30 seconds, you don't get the thing, right? Yeah. Stuff like that, right? So it's like
already getting implanted in your brain.
It's implanted in the brain, and the attention span that's out there. Because even like right now, right, with we go from viruses, social and the whole stuff that a couple of weeks ago, right? It's like this, and out the media is gone. We know it's still happening right now.
Yeah.
Right. It's still going on. Mm-hmm. But then but the problem is too with our media is that if it's not shown like things blowing up or people burning stuff, it's like it doesn't make the news.
Yeah.
But there's still people going out there, still fighting for it, still trying to.
Even right now, as we're talking. Now.
This stuff is going on right now in downtown Phoenix, probably.
Yeah.
People are upset they can't go to the bars in Scottsdale. But
by the way, quick shout out to Pax Machina, because they are like seriously fucking fighting BLM hard, and you guys are fucking rocking it. I'm gonna be in touch with you guys soon because I definitely want to go protest, and they've been protesting since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So huge
Definitely.
props to all of them because fuck, we need more of them.
Yeah, we definitely need that. We need. I mean, again, it's that social consciousness, and that's kind of like I guess one of the messages I always like to try to say. With like, I was a poli-sci major in undergrad, but I just skipped out the whole bio stuff because it's like this stuff is too hard. Let me do some politics and stuff. And I realized that I don't want to really get into politics, but I like politics. But the this is where I struggle a lot too. I mean, I always believe people have their opinions, but there's a point that you can't debate with people because they don't understand how the things work.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where I bite my tongue a lot because they don't understand how the process works.
Yeah.
Right.
That's happening a lot right now.
And as what I was educated on and stuff, I still have a true belief that the power is still within the people to make a change, but they have to believe they can make that change.
Yeah.
Because we're beaten down to think we can't make a change, that it's screwed.
Yeah.
Right. Now, those are, I say those in power or may be, right, have learned to use the system to their advantage, right? And that's what it's been, right?
Yeah.
Which, there's a lot more of us who are not in that far greater outnumbered than everyone else. But it's I don't know. How do we put it in the right words? Especially as a parent, right? You have such a hypersensitivity to all that stuff that's going on.
Yeah, because it's not involving just you. Now you got to involve the being that you brought to life. And
yeah, and so you come to this world like
and everything.
You try to shelter them, and it's a natural thing. Try to shelter them and everything else.
Yeah.
It gets to a point, it's like you can't shelter them. You have to say, hey, this is what's really going on in the world and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because even like I guess I won't play social media, but it's like certain things like my 12-year-old will stress out about, and I was like, you don't need to, you don't stress about it. Don't make yourself. And then sometimes it's good. I had this conversation with her. Sometimes it's good to disconnect. You have to disconnect.
Oh yeah.
Did you say you've disconnected for a while?
I've done it. Yes, do it if you have to. Especially right now, if your mental health is not at 100%. If you fucking are suicidal or sad every fucking day, I can guarantee 85% of it is because you're on fucking Facebook, Instagram, any social media, and just fucking mushing your brain. And you just need to turn your phone off. Even just turning your phone off for 2 hours, which is not a long time. 2 hours can like definitely help your mental health. So if you're not feeling it, disconnect and just come back.
We talk about now, about mental health, and there's another big thing too. I always, always consciously worry about, for others and stuff. Always for myself too. It's like having that clearer mind, which is part of the disconnecting from all the inputs, right? Because growing up for me, there wasn't all this. Boom, 5 seconds here, boom, here's a tweet here, boom, and it's this constant, right? Yeah. And it's stressful and stuff. And people have a hard time coping with it, but then they'll turn to extracurricular activities to try to numb it, right? But at the same time, at a certain point, that is still gonna come back no matter what, right?
Oh yeah, once you get sober off whatever you do, you're gonna be back where you started. So
yeah, and that's another thing too. Us in a society, right? We don't value mental health, right? Because we're always worried about. Well, part of it because we're always worried about fixing things with some sort of substance, right? It's like, hey, take some Valium and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
When a lot of time too, it's like, okay, it's disconnecting from world, being with nature, family, everything else. It's really a refreshing thing, right? And for those, and sometimes people, because family may not be an option because that's kind of what driving some of their their some of their mental challenges. but we as a society have to stop, especially for us guys, right? It's like we don't talk about emotions most of the time, right? Or stereotypically, right?
Luckily, I was not raised that way, so thank you, Mom.
you know, Asian parents, but no. No, but there was one thing too is always with with my kids and stuff, it's okay to be show the emotions. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad.
Yes.
That's just part how you feel.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, I've used that energy of not so good times and stuff and made music out of it, right? It's finding taking an outlet. You feel like shit and make music out of it. That's sort of been the outlet. That's where for me, even say, I wish I could make music 9 to 5, but got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But to go get away from that, work on music, do a podcast, do a DJ set, produce music, produce content, video, all that stuff. It's a refreshing thing, right? It's especially when you have a daily grind and everything else, because it's kind of monotonous.
Yeah.
Right. And able to have that creativity or outlet is so important for one's mental health.
Yeah, most definitely. So I agree 100%.
So anyways, mental health, social consciousness. Where else do we go on this thing?
We're going everywhere.
We're going everywhere. This is what the show's about. Go back everywhere we want to talk about.
This is the back door, so you get the truth. Okay.
It's for reals. No, and I think what's it's even like this is like it's healthy for me, right? Because I don't see people. I mean, I work from home. I don't see people.
Yeah.
Right. So for me to say interact with you, do an interview, just say what's up, right? Or last week I was working with someone, working on music with them and everything else. Hey, Rex Garcia, that's who you are. Work on his music, and because that's something that's creative for him and his outlet and stuff, and just kind of vibe on music and stuff, or talk to other people and stuff that's working on and just music related stuff, just enjoying that time and stuff. It's so helpful and healthy, and it's like I don't know how else to say it and stuff.
And you can do that with anything too. It doesn't even have to be music. You can do painting, you can do drawing, you can even go for like a walk, just how we said earlier, go be with nature, go be with Mother Earth.
Except when it's 115 in Phoenix and stuff. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. Go early morning or midnight.
That's why it's only my 4th bottle of water today. Oh my gosh. So, how would you describe? So, switching gears here. So, how would you describe? Well, let's put it this way. Were you born and raised in Phoenix?
I was. I'm a native here. Yes.
He is a native. Not too many people say they're native from Phoenix, because we're all transplant like myself. I was a transplant.
Yeah, everybody pretty much is nowadays.
So I mean, I guess in because obviously born and raised here and stuff, and it's probably especially in the last 10 years. How would you say the music scene has changed? Because I mean, it's changed in the 3 years I've been out here.
Yeah.
How would you describe it since you got into it?
Oof, that's a big question. Just because I started raving here, probably my first rave was when I was 16. And I want to say it was either some Bubble Bobble, so one of the years of Bubble Bobble, or it was DJ Searle. But I do remember, like my first memory was watching DJ Searle before I knew who he was at the press room, before it was the press room.
Oh, okay.
And he was just in the very, like where the bar area is.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to the press room where the bar area is? It was kind of just that hallway. And Searle was right there, maybe like 300 kids, 500 kids tops. And happy hardcore is the first genre that I listened to. So from going happy hardcore, then the next year was hardstyle, then the next year was progressive house, and just it's pretty much like every year something new is hitting. But from living here and witnessing everything, this is a bass heavy state.
Oh,
super heavy with
it is. People like a thump.
They do, and it's great. And when they came here, it was just like a breath of fresh air, I guess, for people. And now, what are we now, 2020? So even 2 years ago, the music was Future House probably was like the hottest thing 2 years ago. Yeah. So now we're going into back into techno and slowly going into trance. So it's like the full circle is coming back around. So it feels nice to see the whole evolution of going from happy hardcore Super Candy Kid to this mainly black with khakis, hard techno.
I agree.
It's gray and black. See, there you go. You know, the deep V-neck black shirt, just
yeah, stereotype.
But yeah, the transition's been great. You know, I mean, the people here are amazing. Every scene, every sub scene, there's beautiful people in it. And with every production company out here, they've been collaborating and they've been able to throw bigger shows and like merge all the groups together. And now pretty much like anyone who raves, you're gonna either have mutual friends with them or you're like best friends with the person.
Yeah, you go to the Facebook because I think most of the people on the Facebook is like you got 90 some odd mutual people.
Oh,
like,
I love that.
It's like holy shit. It's like damn, right?
That's my favorite. As soon as I see we have over 100 people out, I try to add you because I'm like I know we had to have met at some point.
Right.
And then I'll go and message them and be like, hey, do we know each other? And then
that's a funny part because it's like the first year and a half I really didn't get out much out here. Then I think end of 2018, I said, let me start moseying around and stuff, just kind of meet the people and stuff. And one thing too, everyone's always been chill in the scene out here, which is like so way different from LA or SoCal because everyone's in their little bubbles and everything and stuff, and we up there, nose up there, it was so refreshing because everyone's been chill. There's a couple of weirdos. Everyone has a weirdos.
Oh yeah.
But. But
I've been that weirdo from time to time.
But it's been really cool. It was like, okay, everyone's just chill, and it's like, yeah, I'd be somewhere, and they'd be like, hey, Akeru, what's up? I'm like, what's up? And I'm like, I don't remember.
You try so hard to remember every place you've been.
Was I drunk or no? Was I sober? No, but yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, yeah, it's been really refreshing since coming out here, coming from, hate to stereotype Southern California, but
well, I've been there and I've seen the cliques, bro. There is a clique for every group of 5 people I saw.
Group of 5 people. Then if you were like, I was in Orange County. If you're in Orange County, oh, why are you doing Orange County for, right? Or you go to LA, they're like, why are you doing here?
Yeah.
Right? Because people in Orange County won't go to LA.
Yeah.
And vice versa,
yeah.
Right? I mean, granted, it'll take you like 2 hours to get there from Orange County to LA, but people would just never mix, right? It would just never mix, and that was what tripped me out here is that you can have so many different subgenre of folks and stuff, and everyone just kind of like chill and mix with each other.
Yeah.
Right? It was like that would never happen in LA.
This I guess because California is bigger, but I don't know how. I mean, it's EDM, so it kind of stays marginalized.
Yeah, but, because I remember in Orange County, you had this little place, one little spot that would have house music, right? And it was the only little spot in Orange County that had house music.
Okay.
Right? It was like by the John Wayne Airport and stuff. It's a little bar and stuff. And they moved it around a couple of times over the years and stuff, but it was just a little place. That was it. You go to another place which was called Sutra, which eventually became another place called Time and stuff. They tried to make it more Vegas style. It was more traditional, mainstream EDM stuff, right? Okay. Did have a song play there, which was kind of cool, but I didn't get to go in for some reason. I don't remember why. Oh yeah, they wouldn't let me in. I was like, my track's playing here and stuff.
Dude.
But it was on the sound system, and so it was kind of cool.
I have yet to do that. I have yet to be that person and be like, that's my song.
That's my song. That was always the thing, right? Because I remember when I had that one track played in Vegas, it was like, it tripped me out. I mean, it's like, that's my song. I'm like, what the heck, right?
You think it's playing like in your phone or something because you listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you think about that was, oh god. I mean, I sound silly saying but it's like, yeah, that seemed like the pinnacle of my music career. But it's like, and I mean, I learned a lot from that too, because it was a lot of, even get to that point or aftermath, unless there was a lot of this lesson from the music industry itself. Mm-hmm. But taking away from all that other crap that happened, to go there, have a club with, I don't know how many Perfecto held at the time, at the Palms, right? But this go in there, your track's playing, and you're like looking around, and people are like bobbing their heads up and down. And my cell phone sucked because it was only like an iPhone 3G or something like that. So the video I had sucks. Versus like phones now, they'd be like crystal clear.
Oh,
yeah, it was the most. I mean, I played at places like House of Blues and all that stuff, and like had the house lights turn on, and you say, "Holy shit!" There's a lot of people. It's like upstairs and downstairs and upstairs are filled, Ooh. Right? Which is like crazy. You go, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I had that, but it was a different thing because it was sort of like never think it was gonna get picked up or anything like that, right? And it was like it was the most surreal and humbling experience, I will say, right? To say, wow, this is cool, you know?
Yeah.
This is really, really cool.
Oh, yeah. I think I had that feeling that you felt the first time that I ever played one of my own songs to a crowd. I think I felt that same feeling.
Oh,
it's just like, you're just like, holy shit, like, people actually like this.
You're like the dancer?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god! But yeah, I mean, it's like for me, when I play my own music, only because you when you play your own music, there's always so much, because there's so much heart and soul you put into that, right?
Yeah.
And when you get to share it and see people react to it, and it's this whole.
It's a relationship.
Yeah, it's a relationship, and because it's again, it's like music in general, right? Like people will interpret it and have different ways of interpreting music and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's just cool. I mean, where the music came from, but you know that in some sense of the way, the song is having the same effect on someone, however it may be for them.
Yeah.
But they're having that impact on them.
Yeah.
Which is like the crazy, and it's like. That's what makes music fun, right? It's that you create that connection through something from your soul.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like there's nothing more, I guess, gratifying than to actually experience that in person, or online, or where it may be nowadays, right?
True.
Yeah, it's just you cherish those moments and stuff. Just like when that in Vegas and stuff, when that happened and stuff, yeah, he's like, I don't know if I ever see this again, but I'm gonna take this in, man. I was like, all right, but also, knowing that you're able to get to that point too continues to drive you. At least for me, it's just like, okay, let me try to do it again, right? Not to stress myself out to say, hey, I gotta make a hit record. I mean, it'd be nice to say you have a hit song and stuff, and you get 3 billion plays and stuff, and you can retire. Great,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a one-hit wonder. It pays the bills. But it does, because you have that moment and stuff, and that impact and stuff. It keeps, at least for me, it keeps me going.
Yeah.
Right after all these years. I mean, that's been at least 9 years, 10 years now, 9 years, I think. Okay, when that happened, 9 years. Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part of it. Now, when was the first time you think, going from going to raves and stuff, they say, let me do that, let me try that? What made you say, what clicked in your head, let me try this?
Okay, so it's kind of weird because it's a little backwards. So I was in music classes when I was in middle school, and it was like intro to music and music theory, and even this was like the baby steps. This was like barely learning like who Mozart was and who Beethoven was, and just learning about the music back then. So it wasn't even like an intro to like how to play a piano, how to strum a guitar or anything like that. It was basically just nonstop musical information. But I do remember that there was an exercise that we did where we were listening to a piece of Mozart, and we had to depict every instrument that was in the piece. So I get picked, and I get every instrument except one, which was a string, and I think it was a viola. And at that age, I didn't even know what a viola was, so it never clicked in my head.
Violin and viola is the same thing.
Yeah, so I guessed violin because it sounded like that, but she was like, you're really close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that moment was when like I knew I had an ear for music.
Mm-hmm.
Like if at that age, for me to get almost 100% while all the other kids only got like 2 instruments,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was something clicked with me.
It is definitely, yeah.
So from being there, and then I went to high school, obviously, and I did some music theory there, and that's when I actually started learning a little bit of how to play piano and
Mm-hmm.
learning what chords were,
Mm-hmm.
and then that was honestly the driving force, was starting that young and realizing that I wanted to do something to do with music. I didn't even know what with music. I just knew it had to do with music.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, from going to the raves, learning what a DJ does, learning how music was done for EDM,
Mm-hmm.
and just all the connection that you can bring, how you were mentioning, how you can connect with someone on a different level that doesn't involve your mouth or like communicating or speaking. It's just through the frequencies of the sounds that the person can vibe off of you if they feel your music, obviously. But yeah, I don't know, it's been a journey, because every time I think about that question every time that I just have my little thoughts. But it's like, what would have happened if I didn't take that class? Where would I have gone or whatever? But it's always been music. Didn't matter what. I just knew it always had to do with music.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it was like, I remember it was probably like 4 years old, 5 years old and stuff. I had this little 1 octave piano, right? It sounded like, those cheap ass kid piano and stuff, right? But it was kind of cool. It kind of stood up. He had a little chair. For like 4 or 5 years old, and with me, I guess what happened was that my mom would always listen to Barry Manilow. Okay, this is how it started. And I would sit there and I would like figure out how to play a Barry Manilow song.
Nice.
Like, where people are like, who the hell is Barry Manilow? Anyways, that's how I am. How old I am. But Google Barry Manilow, right? But that's how I started, was doing that, and I would just take any song on the radio, and I would figure how to play at least like the melody piece on the piano.
Yeah.
So did that and stuff, and you do junior high. Everyone played a recorder because that's what you do in the second or third grade, whatever it was. Then I started saying, I'm gonna go join band, right? So of all the instruments I've learned how to play was the flute.
Nice. See, and I wasn't able to get into instrument classes, so I had to do choir.
Okay.
So from second, third, fourth grade, I was doing choir. And I think I was pretty bad. Obviously, I was a kid. But now growing up, like I remember like those lessons, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can actually like kind of sing. So now that I've been producing more, I've started to use my voice, and now I can actually like be in key, as to where probably when I was a little kid, I was just like squealing up to the top of my lungs.
Someone was like, Joey, stop it! Stop it! No, that's funny. No, it's like, I did the choir stuff too, and I never considered myself. I mean, I could write lyrics, even write rhymes and stuff, but I think for me, consciously, it's just weird to hear my own voice. I mean, there's been a few tracks I've used. It's been my voice, and I've used my voice in a way that I've been manipulated to actually make it sound like an instrument, right? Because I've just commented and now kind of manipulated and stuff, but I've just kind of humming the melody and it kind of layered it.
Oh,
that's what I've done.
Yeah.
So I've done that stuff like that too.
That's creative. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, it's fun. That fun. That part is actually kind of fun to take that. I forgot how I did it at one time, but basically I just I could at least hum in tune, thankfully. I didn't have to melodize my voice. So I've done that before. It's kind of a cool thing to do. That's probably from a production standpoint, it's just experiment with different shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I have this. My wife has this Chinese blind dance drum and stuff, right?
Nice.
And I still have, how sometimes in some, you see some like side trance, they use some sort of tribal like native drums and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I want to do something with that drum.
Ooh.
Right. I have, at least in my head, right? I have an idea.
Yeah.
right? I just haven't quite figured out how to do it, right? Because you think about taking something like a Chinese opera, right, and kind of make that into a dance music. I don't know how. It's in my head.
Yeah.
I just haven't figured out how to do it, right? But to take
listen to a bunch of lo-fi tracks. They do a pretty good job.
Just ask my daughter. She's like, "Hey, which one you like?" She loves lo-fi, but there's something that I want from a using Asian's music sounds, because I haven't really heard that used on dance music, because you hear a lot of, either some Caribbean music, Caribbean or a tribal Native American sounds into it. I've heard that used, but I haven't heard yet using Asian inspired sounds into a dance music.
Yeah. I only have one song. And for some reason, I can't think of the song name right now.
but it tells you how rare it is, right?
Yeah, well, it's like, super rare. No, and I'm on that path as well. So it's definitely hard to like
nail it or something.
Yeah, because with Oriental music, there's just a more peaceful, like calming approach.
Yeah,
it's not so much like Western where it's just super hard, heavy every single freaking song. And I think there's just that line where people don't know where it's at yet, where you can bring something so beautiful like Oriental strings and apply them. I guess you could do it like in a progressive house track, kind of.
I guess you could, especially because with a progressive house track, and obviously you're creating that atmospheric feel to it, right? I guess you could do it with a progressive house or a trance song.
Yeah, I just feel like that the strings would have to be like the focal point.
Yeah, you would have the driver from the strings in there and stuff, and because you can make it very melodic and stuff like would say what instrument is that? I can't think of the actual name. The arp. What's the one string the Chinese thing?
Oh shit!
I don't know what the hell. Come on, Chinese. What the hell?
I don't know what it is, but I know what you're talking about.
Right, it's it's like you see that.
It's just like a guitar up.
Or like Japanese use it also and stuff. But something like that's kind of like it'd be kind of cool. I'm probably gonna try something tonight. I'm gonna find some sound pack that sounds like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing again from our music production is taking different genre and applying it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've been working on some of these house tracks and stuff, but I've been wanting to add something like a funk guitar. There's a couple of tracks I have, and I've just been adding guitars in there, just kind of little.
Got a slap at the bass.
Slap at the bass or something just funk. Because even the EP I had last year, I had some of the tracks were like more housey sounding than I've normally done.
It felt funky.
There was one I actually played the bass line on the bass.
Okay.
Because I could hear the mistake at the beginning. I was like, oh shit, I left it in there. Then my buddy Grace, hey, give us a character. I was like, I hear he's just, it's not my problem, it's the guy who played it. I was like, yeah, I know. But, that's one thing that's kind of fun at adding like live instruments into dance music, because it gives that, that what word am I looking for? God, I'm going blank here.
Kind of like warmth.
Yeah, it gives it the warmth. It gives it more of that analog feel to it and stuff. Because sometimes in dance music and stuff, or electronic music and stuff, we get so tied into MIDIs and everything else, right? But when I obviously everyone producer behind it. I want to have a bank of analog synths.
Oh, dude, that's my dream too.
It's like you see people like who's a good Vince Clarke from Erasure and Depeche Mode.
Okay.
He has this whole, and there's this video I watched, this whole basement of every single possible synth you could think of.
Okay, that's amazing.
It's all, and he's got this crazy, like I think it's in New York, and he got it all like wired, and he could patch it down and stuff. It's like a synth, like you're dying on the synth heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
it's just like. Oh.
I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. I think that's too much.
Well, yeah, and it's like my wife would never see me, I sit in this room and my wife never sees me.
Right.
But it's something like that. It's like, wow. I mean, I mean, it's hard to find that stuff, but just I know if I had the funds to do it, it'd be stupid. I'll have maybe an extra car, but you give me like a whole room full of analog synths.
You give me any room, I'll make something.
See, I have this whole closet in the side. I got to do stuff with it too. But yeah, I remember watching that. Watching CLD. I'm a documentary nerd because especially when it comes to music, right? Anything, especially in the music I listen to, like growing up, like New Order, Depeche Mode, The Cure, and all those. That's my influence, right? But even going back farther than that, anything from like what drove them, like Kraftwerk, it's stuff groups like that, right? Documentaries. I'm just sitting there just watching it and stuff, especially Kraftwerk, like late mid '70s and stuff.
Yeah.
Right, and just how they even created the sound then.
Yeah.
Right.
I love watching old school documentaries like that.
I mean, it's like it's insane, right?
Yeah, we have it really easy. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I started later in life producing music. Part of it because it was not affordable to try to produce music in your home studio. I mean, you just couldn't. Because this is insane how much equipment you have to have. But now with DAWs and everything else, I think it's and stuff that emulated and stuff. It's just so much easier. I mean, it is versus growing up. Say when I was even in my early 20s. That tells you how old I am. It was very, very hard. I mean, I remember getting a Pro Tools Box 2. So this was this is probably 2003, 2004 around then. I mean, that was like one of the most first like really robust thing you could have in your home studio.
Yeah, how did you work on that? I saw pictures of what it looked like, and that thing looked like fucking like, not to diss on them, but it looked like trash.
It was a bitch to install and to set up, right? It was a pain in the ass. I had it on a Windows 98 machine. Okay? Oof. That tells you how old that shit is, right? Yeah. It was like Windows 98, the blue screen of death, right? So
did your computer did it even turn on at that point?
It wanted to die, man. It was like, dude, it's like saying "F you." What the hell are you trying to do to me, right? Throw in a VST.
Done.
Done, toast. It was a pain in the ass to set up, right? And once I previous before that I've messed with Cubase, right? Okay. I had messed with what's the precursor to Fruit Loops? What the heck was it called? Darn legs.
I thought it was Cubase.
Was it Cubase? Cubase before. Anyways, if you guys can put the comments here, I don't remember too old. I can't remember shit anymore. But you play with it and all that stuff. Once it was going. But I remember Windows 98 crashed. Oh god damn! I gotta reinstall this whole thing again because you had all these cards with all the serial numbers, right? So you had a card stack this much of all these serial numbers.
Oh yeah.
You gotta type it in. It's like fucking small. Instead of typing all the serial numbers, like reinstall will take you 3 weeks, just to reinstall all your patches and everything else. It was like, so it got to the point that I got tired every time my Windows machine died, and reloading Pro Tools and everything else. I said screw it. So I ended up going to. So from that point on, I went to Logic.
Okay.
Logic was cool, especially I like the feature in Logic that as you did your MIDIs and stuff, it actually make musical notes.
Oh.
Which was the coolest freaking thing I thought, right? I was like, oh wow, it actually made it into musical notes. So in my journey of DAWs, and just went side tangent here, so I went from I went to Pro Tools, a little bit of Cubase, went to Pro Tools, went to Logic, then I ended up going to Ableton. So that was sort of my DAW history and stuff. It's going on this computer. Oh, it's just asking me to install shit. I ain't worried about it. But yeah. So that's my journey of DAW. So your journey of DAWs.
Mine's very short because obviously I'm younger, so I didn't get to experience all those. But mine was, if I go to the very first one ever, I guess it would have to be GarageBand.
Okay.
And that was obviously done in my middle school class.
Uh-huh.
And that was my introduction to what a DAW looks like and stuff. But then I had a friend who had Fruity Loops, and this was 2008. So I don't even remember what Fruity Loops that was, like 7 or something. I don't remember how they do the years. But it was Fruity Loops, and I saw that, and I was like, wow, this looks way cooler than GarageBand. And turns out it was way cooler than GarageBand. So I started dabbling with that for a little bit, and since I was new and no one was teaching me, I would always have all of my sounds and everything was like delayed by like half a step.
So and you had this insane reverb.
Yeah, everything was just like where the kick should be. It was just one beat over. And everything was like that. So nothing stacked, nothing made sense, and I just got frustrated. And I didn't know what was happening.
All right, we have a little visitor here. I'm filming. The internet will see you.
Wave. Say hello.
Say hi to the internet.
I got a question. How does it see your entire room?
Because it does.
With the camera.
Anyways, for internet world, this is my daughter. You're the camera's right there.
It's that little one over there by the TV. Yeah, that little baby one.
This is what happens when you have a home studio.
Okay.
You want to give a message real quick?
You want to say hi to the internet world?
Wait, who are those people?
People on YouTube. You're going to be on YouTube. You're going to be on Twitch.
You're going to be famous.
You're going to be on Facebook. You're going to be on Facebook.
Okay.
All right. Say bye to the world.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, close the door.
I came down here for eating, but I just saw you were doing this.
Okay. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, peers out.
Bye.
You gotta leave that in there.
So, anyways, those are the things you gotta leave that in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
those are the best moments right there. That totally made the
if
video. If this doesn't get 1,000 likes or anything,
come on, you gotta get punch a like there, add and subscribe. You didn't have them random show ups of my daughter. She has a song called Chicken Nuggets too. We'll release it later.
Oh shit! I'm ready to hear that because that's my favorite.
It's a hip hop song too.
Ooh. I definitely want to hear it.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But it's funny too. It's funny. It's there's no worry about using GarageBand because I used it as a sound sampler for our band. Because I couldn't afford anything. It was like I
use what you got. Okay.
It was like I had drum pads from GarageBand, and they had some basic synths we were using in it. It sounded like with the stuff we had in the studio when we actually recorded it. It worked fine.
Yeah.
No one knows the difference.
And don't let any DAW discourage you either. Like, use what you got. Use what you can get. Music is still gonna be music at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you got there, as long as you got there.
Oh, exactly.
But yeah, I went from Fruity Loops, and then I was super against Ableton just because I was one of those Ableton skeptical like people who looked at the DAW and was freaked out because I'm like, oh, there's too much on this screen, and you click the other screen, oh, there's like the same amount of stuff. I didn't even know where to start, so I just had it installed on my computer for like 2 years and still kept using Fruity Loops, and then just one day I kind of just gave in and was like, what's the worst thing that could happen if I switch to Ableton and I can't learn like the learning curve or anything? I'm like, well, the only way that I'm gonna learn is to try. So I did.
And the funny thing, yeah, because first time I had an Ableton, I had one of those, you saw the MPC thing I have over there, and was like, okay, what do I do with it? I mean, I was like completely lost. It was like, okay, I don't know what to do with it. But yeah, once you figure it out, it's like, again, it's like any DAW, especially if you're new to it, if you're a beginner, seasoned person, intermediate, if you try something, it's okay to try something new. Just no problem with it. I mean, heck, I freaked out going from live 9 to live 10. I was like, dude, you changed all the shit here. What's going on?
See, and I'm at that phase. I'm like, I still don't want to go to 10 yet.
Oh, you're still at 9?
I'm still at 9.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Yeah. Okay, I don't feel so bad.
Daddy, okay, one more thing. I forgot how to spell Akeru.
How do you spell Akeru? A.
I know that one.
Okay. K-E-R-U.
She's cute. I like her. She's really neat.
So if you see what number 1 fan is, it's that one right there. She likes anything I post. Everyone else doesn't give a shit. She likes everything. But she had questions. How come you don't have 1 million subscribers yet? I'm like, why? Because then you get something for a gift? Oh, you get a plaque. Okay. So she's wanting. She wants that plaque. So
Nice.
if I get 1 million subscribers, my daughter gets a plaque. So subscribe.
I'm with that. Let's make that happen.
Oh my
I want
God.
to see that plaque right here.
Right, here we go. Put it right there. Yeah, so anyways, with dolls and everything else. But, so, gotta ask the question, though. How did you end up choosing Shinobi as your stage name?
So how that ended up happening was I had probably, I'm trying to think if I had 2 other names before Shinobi. The first one was BMO, and that was probably when I first ever even touched DJ equipment or anything, and I was probably doing mainly top 40 EDM remixes and stuff when I was really popular back in like 2012, 2013. But then I was just like, I can't do that. It's Adventure Time. It's going to get copywritten. So had to scratch that. I went to one where it was ill with a dead emoji. So X_X. So it makes like the dead emoji thing. But as you can tell from your face that you just made right now, you were confused already with me trying to explain it. So I did the
tells the truth.
Yeah. I did the most. I don't know. I don't want to say the dumbest thing I've ever did, but I did embarrass myself in front of 400 people trying to explain my name one time in the desert rave. While I was performing. They said my name wrong. And I don't know what came over me, and I just grabbed the mic real quick, and I was like, wait. I'm going to settle this now, because since I have everyone's attention. And that sentence right there, you never want to say, because you know the next thing that's going to come out is just garbage. So I straight up was like, my name is X, and it took me like 5-10 minutes explaining everything, and at the end of that, I just gave the microphone back. They all told me I was drunk and to go home. So I was like, all right, this name has to change.
Okay, the fact that you're at a desert rave, you're trying to tell people about that and explain it and stuff, they tell you to go home.
Yeah, they didn't want to hear it. After 10 minutes, they're like, you need to change your name. And I was feeling that, and I was like, I got to change my name. And honestly, I don't want to offend anyone, especially since it's where we are in life and how everyone easily gets offended. But I love Asian culture. That it's honestly like ever since I was a little kid, that was like my favorite thing to absorb the culture of that. And I just always liked ninja movies. I always liked Power Rangers, anything that just depicted like ninjas, Ninja Turtles. It just was the coolest thing to me, is to be just hidden in the shadows and you could just pop out of nowhere and just kick someone's ass. Not saying that I'll just kick someone's ass or anything. But just the whole vibe that what a shinobi is. And then if you actually look at the history and like the ideology of what a shinobi is, I'm like, oh, that's all the teachings are like actually what make you a good person in life. So it's just something that always resonated with me, even when I was BMO. I was still trying to figure out a name. And in the back of my head, I was like, well, Shinobi could work, so I might as well just like hold on to that and see what I can come up with. And unfortunately, there's obviously a lot of Shinobis out there because it's music. There's gonna be duplicate names. It's just gonna happen. But what I just did was do music with the Q because it wasn't so much as like it's just music.
Yeah.
It's just it involves music.
Yeah.
So I can be doing just music. I can be doing a music video. I can be doing tutorials. It just it gave me like an open door, so I wouldn't close myself in the box. And so now I have Shinobi Music, and it's Shinobi is the first name, and music is the last name. And that's why it's also a Q, so it kind of looks like a last name and not just music. And yeah, the dragon, obviously anything with Shinobi, and even many other cultures, dragons and serpents are always godlike beings, and they're here to protect us and stuff. So that's what I try to put in my music is all my positive intentions and just like giving everything 110% into my music. So when you listen to it, you're immediately, doesn't even matter if you listen to it for like 10 seconds, you're gonna get all that love that I put into it. You're gonna feel it. And that's how I came up with Shinobi Music and kind of like stuck with it, and it's like that's it now.
No, that's a cool background. And it's always fun to hear how someone's come to, it's like a stage name or it may be as far as like they name the title of an album and stuff, right? It's understanding the background of where it came from. It's always interesting because there's always a story behind it and stuff. So no, that's cool. I always wonder. I don't know why I never asked you. It's like, how did you come up with Shinobi Music? But no, because I remember the first time I heard your stuff and stuff. I think Sean C was like, yeah, Shinobi. I was like, oh, okay, and I admit originally I thought, okay, he's an Asian guy, right? I was like, nope, he's not Asian. No, maybe so. That's totally cool. It's always cool. I mean, even like Akeru is not, I'm Chinese by descent, right? But Akeru is actually a Japanese word.
Okay.
It's actually a word my wife came from reading a book, right? To let light in. This really what it meant, but I might probably have said it a few other times before. But yeah, I mean, it's like it's always cool to understand or to find out how, again, albums names are created or stage names are created and all that stuff, because it means something to an individual, and it's always interesting. I find it interesting. It's an amazing nerd thing where it comes from. So I think that's cool. Appreciate you sharing about that.
Yeah, of course. No, I love hearing that too. I love hearing everyone's background of how they got their name, because I always like asking, because it's very interesting to hear the origin story versus what you perceive it as just by hearing the name or listening to the sound that the person is putting out.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I love that.
So what do we have in store as far as releases in the next couple of months?
Well, releases are going to be, I've been doing like monthly releases, at least once a month. I've in the past have done like a release every week. So that was getting a little bit too much, because I wasn't fully immersing myself into the music. So I've noticed now that I give myself a month, I can work on a few tracks, but then focus like on one for that month, and then like baby it and polish it and put it out. But there is a release coming out right now. It's called it's not actually it is, it's called Melody. Sorry, I was confusing it with the one that just came out called Someone Familiar. But the new one's called Melody. I played it in the mix. That one I used my own voice for the first time.
Nice.
And I was able to manipulate it in a way that I like deep. Like I was telling my wife before I came, because we were listening to other music, but I was like, I really like the like dark black men's voice. Like it's like very, like I think it has to do with the gospel.
Deep baritone kind of voice.
Yeah, so even with like was it Barry White? Where he's like, hey baby, like that, just that deep voice. Yeah. So I've always liked that deep voice because it's like for some reason to me it's like warm and comforting. Like there's.
It's like a blanket.
Yeah, straight up. So I tried to emulate the same way in that track.
Mm-hmm.
And it was honestly a new spark that, like just lit the fire. It was kind of like going away. I kind of was like with the whole pandemic and everything, and I'm like, well, I'm not playing out. No one's gonna be listening to my music unless they actually are like super hardcore fans.
Mm-hmm.
For the hardcore fans, though, I love the shit out of you, and I'm doing this for you guys. Like I'm not anything without y'all. So your guys' input, your guys' feedback, everything means the world to me. So it keeps me just going. It gives me like that affirmation, like, hey, I'm on the right path. I'm not there 100%, but hey, like these people, this is what they like. This is what they want to help me with and stuff. So I'll take it and
awesome.
Yeah, and just produce something beautiful for them.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, so Melody is the next one coming out, and then pretty much all the songs that you heard in the mix, each one of those is going to be slowly let out each month. So just keep an eye out on that on my socials. I'm very heavy on Instagram, so that's probably the best social to follow me and interact with me. I message everyone every day that messages me, and I'll continue to do that because that's what it's all about. It's just getting to connect with you guys on a deeper level and just going on this crazy ride with me.
Awesome stuff. I know, obviously, for folks that don't know, also, you're into shuffling and everything else. Have you guys been, that's obviously with all the stuff going on and stuff, how that's been going on? I know you were releasing videos for a while, too, some of your shuffling, too. I always thought it's cool.
Yeah, so the cool thing with that was I was able to dance and use my own music and kind of do my own self-promotion and stuff, but I actually had a back injury a few months ago.
Oh, I remember that.
So that actually I had to put shuffling at a pause, so I haven't shuffled in probably since February.
Yeah, it was about the beginning of the year we were talking about it. You mentioned about that.
So it's been like 4 or 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently not in the crew anymore, obviously, because I don't dance, so I didn't see a reason for me to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I can still support them from outside of the team. As you can see, I'm wearing the mask right now.
I was just saying, like, that's why I had to bring it up. It's like, no, it's the mask.
No matter what, they're still my family, and I love them to death, and I'll always be there for each one of them. So
good stuff.
I'll always support them. But yeah, I used to be a shuffler. I glove, I poi, I do pretty much any floor. I can pick it up. It's not just music with me.
Everything. Awesome. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Did we have a hand sanitizer too? No. All right. Joey, Shinobi, appreciate you as always. I hope you guys enjoyed this set. It's awesome. And here's my little visitor again.
I don't know what to eat.
All right, I'll come back. Say bye to everyone to the internet world.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Here again. This is Akeru behind the open door with Shinobi. Enjoy this set coming up.
this tall to ride this ride at the carnival. Oh, will you come take my hand and ride through playland? So high to high at the carnival, and it's all fun and games till somebody falls in love. But you already bought a ticket and there's no turning back now. Round and around like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I could never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Is too slow. We're always this close. Almost, almost. We're a freak show. Right when I'm near, it's like you disappear. Where you go? So you're a freak show, and it's all fun and games till somebody falls in love. But you already bought a ticket and there's no turning back now. Round and around like a horse on a carousel. We go. Will I catch up to love? I could never tell. I know. Chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Round and around like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I could never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Round and around like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I could never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Why did you steal my candy heart? You threw it in this damn coin slot. I'm stuck, riding, round and around like a horse on a carousel. We go, will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know, chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel.